In this video, I'm going to talk about the Speaker of the House, that job moving probably from Nancy Pelosi of San Francisco to Kevin McCarthy of Bakersfield. And I would be a good person to talk about this because I live in Bakersfield. I've lived here for about 8 years now, and prior lived in the Bay Area. Now, by the way, speaking of the San Francisco Bay Area, not only is Nancy Pelosi from San Francisco, but Kamala Harris is from San Francisco, and also our governor, Gavin Newsom, California governor, is also from San Francisco. I was in the Bay Area to go to school at Berkeley for a number of years, stayed around, and surrounded by these characters. And now I'm in Bakersfield, and Kevin McCarthy, who is very likely going to be the next Speaker of the House, is from Bakersfield. Now, Bakersfield is a farming community. It's an oil producing community. It's rich in resources, very productive. It's a city, a county that can feed the world if necessary. Certainly, Bakersfield can feed the entire United States in case of war emergency. It has oil. It doesn't have shale or natural. It has shale probably also, but we have crude oil here, which is much more valuable than shale oil, which is soaked into the tar pits and so forth. So the oil we have in Bakersfield is better than the oil in North Dakota. But who am I to say? I'm over here, and yes, Kevin McCarthy is my representative. And what do you need to know about this? Well, there was an early indication that there would be a big Republican victory in these midterm elections in 2022. Then there was a backlash against that because of Roe v. Wade, that decision creating a groundswell of opposition from Democrats. The energy of Roe v. Wade has dissipated a little bit. It's still, the big elephant in the room for both sides, but at this point, that thing has subsided, and we're looking at a Republican victory again. Now, we are not looking at a major Republican victory that you usually get in the midterms, where the opposition party, the party opposing the president is Joe Biden, and the opposition party, which is the Republicans, usually get a big victory in the midterms. This is not going to be the case, where they're still saying the Democrats will hold the Senate, and that the Republicans will win the House. If the Republicans win the House of Representatives, then Nancy Pelosi will no longer be Speaker. What will she do? Well, she'll probably win her district in San Francisco, but basically, it's very possible also that she gets a job in the Biden administration. She could be an ambassador. She could be a cabinet member in a variety of areas, health and human services, a lot of different things that Nancy Pelosi can do in a very positive way. I remind you some of the other characters. Eleanor Roosevelt, who was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's wife, the wife of the president of the United States. Eleanor Roosevelt was very, very powerful woman into the 1960s. I think in the United Nations, she had some role in the United Nations up into the late 1960s until her death. This is a woman who was extremely powerful. Now, I live in California. I've lived in California continuously since 1995, and I'll tell you something, that this has been a big issue. I recently visited some family and we met in San Francisco a couple weekends ago, and They still love me in San Francisco. Not that way. I mean, I was from Berkeley. All the disclaimers when you visit San Francisco. I was there to see some family, and there is none of this. You might expect, between Nancy Pelosi and Kevin McCarthy, some of this scuffle is going on. But the people of San Francisco are still, Californians. We're all Californians here, and this is a generational transition as well. As you know, Kevin McCarthy is a generation younger than Nancy Pelosi. And then the big other elephant in the room for Kevin McCarthy is, of course, Donald Trump. Now, Kevin McCarthy was said to have spoken words against Donald Trump, uh, shortly after the January 6th incident, where Trump, basically was involved in a military assault of our Congress. And for better or for worse, I don't personally even understand that incident well enough. The number one target of that incident was Nancy Pelosi. Her laptop was apparently the thing that they wanted to get into her laptop computer, the January 6th attackers. And Kevin McCarthy, of course, is the beneficiary of the whole thing, since he's going to be taking Nancy's job. Now, the Speaker of the House is selected in January when the new Congress is in session, and that'll be expected to be a Republican led Congress. We, again, are not expecting a big Republican majority in the House of Representatives. Uh, we're looking at a small majority, but Kevin McCarthy is the heir apparent to the leadership position for the Republicans. He's been a long time, uh, you know, uh, leader for the House Republicans, and that's his job. Basically Speaker of the House, and he's relatively humble. I think, as I said, the problem for McCarthy is going to be Trump. Now, Trump is in a lot of legal problems. McCarthy actually separated himself from those legal problems that Trump is in because he spoke out immediately after January 6th about that Trump was wrong to be involved in attacking the Congress. Of course, Kevin McCarthy himself, a member of the Congress, I assume he was in the building when the whole thing happened. But I'll tell you something else. The whole Make America Great Again, MAGA, has turned to maggots. The maggots have gone the MAGA, and that is finally happening also in the news. We're seeing finally Make America Great Again. And what does that mean? This is the party of elephants, and greatness is a word with many meanings, but the Trump definition of greatness is large in size, and certainly McCarthy is a large man himself. But Make America Great Again is a dead political movement. The statistics have finally crumbled on top of them. And basically, the problem with great that we are a revolutionary country. We came in against England, with our Revolutionary War. We are freedom fighters, and we do not take to mighty kings in this country, the United States. And Trump already too closely associated with Russia. Of course, his first wife, Ivana, was from Russia. Ivanka, of course, a Russian name derived from Ivana, her mother. They got a divorce, and I was in New York. Of course, I grew up in New York as well, and I saw the whole rise of Donald Trump. And this is not a segment on Donald Trump. I'll do a segment on that later. But I will tell you that basically the Republicans are positioned not only for a small victory and taking over the House in 2022, but also positioned for 2024. Um, and we'll talk about how that could happen because Trump has too many legal problems. As far as McCarthy, yes, he is in. He is likely to be the next Speaker of the House, and Nancy Pelosi might become an ambassador to some fine country somewhere. This is Earth Faith signing out.